Hey Zoe. Hey Zoe. Zoe, look over here. She doesn't look that amused. But anyways, how's that for a little intro, guys? Anyways, I'm here to do another reading, and I know the last one was actually quite long, but let's just say that's not the last time I'm going to be doing these types of stories. And this one, actually, I've been meaning to do for a while also, but I couldn't get around to doing it because, well, I just pretty much couldn't figure out when I should. So anyways, this is another one of Danny's journal stories because once again, she didn't know how to make proper ones. So yeah. This one is entitled Behind the Mask. And no, it's not a FNAF reference, guys, if that's what you're basically gonna question. This is, well, let's just say it's going to revolve around Nephthys. And oh boy, it's been a while since I've seen this, or at least read it. And all I can say is that it's gonna be pretty dark. I mean, seriously, just poor Nephthys. She's so innocent. Just, I feel bad for what's gonna happen to her in this. It's been a while since I've actually read this, so might as well be prepared for it. Who knows, I might actually be surprised. Anyways, let's begin. Author's note. Right off the bat, I have a warning for you. Thank you for putting this up, Danny. Suicide attempt up ahead. If this upsets you, please turn around or scroll down to see the bot or something that, I don't know, I can't read what that symbol's supposed to mean. Again, enjoy. Yeah, it's best if you guys, if you're sensitive to this topic, then it's best if you, don't pretty much watch this. For the rest, please enjoy. Or at least, my reading at least. How could this happen to her? Life was spiraling out of control ever since the Egg Army showed up. But this was the final straw. Eggman had found one of the freedom fighters' hideout and ordered the nearby forces to eliminate them. Nephthys the Vulture was assigned to eliminate the desert raiders in Shamar. Oh no! That's bad, because if you guys don't know, or for those who do know, Nephthys is buddy with the desert freedom fighters. Oh man. This is gonna be painful for her. Oh, this poor thing. She was reluctant to carry out the order and trying to be reasonable with the doctor's orders. She practically begged him not to have her bomb the hideout and kill them on sight. But his orders had to be carried out. The deed has been done a few moments ago. The Egg Army detonated, my bad, the bombs, and no trace of the freedom fighters were found. Nephthys cussed at herself for letting this happen. They were more than her enemy, but her only friends, and dare she say, her children. Oh, that's so sad. I mean, seriously. Oh, poor Nephthys. Poor thing. Spike, Sonar, and Trevor. They were the only family she had left ever since the incident. Nephthys was currently back at the base, in her personal quarters. She was in her bathroom, hanging her head over the sink in horror. How could I have done this? I think my Nephthys impression is getting a little better, guys. I don't know. Feel free to leave a comment. She thought to herself in despair as she looked at herself in the mirror. I stood by and let them die in the fire. I didn't even try to save them. Nephthys removed her golden mask and stared at it. I'm a monster with this mask and a horrible person underneath. Oh, Nephthys. Oh. The white vulture opened the medicine cabinet upon the left wall and pulled out a pill bottle. She slowly screwed off the top and shook a few tablets into her hand. I can't live with myself knowing I did this to my friends. She swallowed the pills in her hand and started to place more pills into her hand. Oh, I can't read this with a straight face, guys. I'm sorry. Bit by bit, she gulped down the tablets until the bottle was empty. This is for the best. I won't hurt anyone. I won't hurt any more people after this. Nothing would happen if I died right now. No one would worry or care. The Empire will find another way, with or without me. Oh, Nephthys. Oh. And wait a sec. It's cut to a different scene. Hey, have you seen Egg Boss Nephthys anywhere? Spike! Dude, you're alive! That was unexpected. Honestly, it's been a while since I've read this, so yeah, memory basically faded, guys. Spike asked one of the egg soldiers as they pointed him to her room. The soldiers were in on saving their affiliates. They have helped with the army so much. It made sense to do this for them, especially for the egg boss. They didn't tell Nephthys in order to make Eggman convinced that they were dead. Oh, that is bad. Spike walked into Nephthys' room and looked around for his vulture friend. Hey, Nephthys, are you around? Spike walked around and found no one was there. When he walked into the bathroom, he noticed the bathroom door was closed. Oh, there you are. Nephthys, are you in there? An eerie silence rang through the room. Hey, if you're feeling bad about the bombing, don't. We knew this was going to happen, and we are all safe. We're just going to have to relocate, that's all. The silence continued once again. Spike started to feel uneasy as he knocked upon the door, calling the vulture's name. After a while, he spoke up. Nephthys, I'm coming in. Spike opened the door slowly and saw the horrifying image behind it. Spike's eyes widened in shock as he saw Nephthys lying on the floor of the bathroom. Nephthys! Spike ran up to her and picked her up, shaking her. Nephthys! Nephthys, wake up! Spike shouted as he watched her move like a rag doll in his arms. He tried to check for a pulse. It was very weak. It was barely breathing. The porcupine. Yes, Spike is a porcupine. I pretty much checked. Started to breathe heavily as he got up and screamed, Help! Someone! Please help! He ran out of the room as fast as he could to the nearest soldier to flag them down, screaming on the top of his lungs to save his dear mother. It's safe now. The Desert Raiders sat at the vulture's bedside, waiting for her to wake up. Sonar was crying in Trevor's arms as he tried to comfort the distressed fox. Sonar is a fennec fox, and Trevor is a mole. That's pretty much what I've been told. Spike's eyes were glued to the lifeless Mobian lying on the bed. The moments before this continued to replay in his head over and over again. Each wave plunged his thoughts, wondering what he could have done to save Nephthys. What do you mean she overdosed on medication? Spike shouted in anger and confusion. She had a high level of naproxen sodium in her system. It's usually taken for pain relief, but we can't do much for her. Trevor spoke up and asked, why can't you help her? If we try to give her medication to get rid of the naproxen, we might kill her in the process. Spike was fed up with hearing any of this. No! There has to be a way! You can't leave her like this! Spike yelled at the doctor, thinking that there was another way to save the poor vulture. I'm sorry, but the way you want to save her is too risky to try. We can only hope that her body can process it and make it through. Oh, I feel sorry for these guys. Oh. In fact, why couldn't we just get a little spin-off comic with that involved Nephthys and her desert friends? I mean, seriously. Like, how did they mate? Exactly. I really would like to have a story on that. I mean, seriously. It would. Plus, it would give these guys actually more of a chance to actually shine. And not in the weird way. There is no way Spike was going to let her go. How could she do this? Sonar asked in sorrow as she tried to stop crying. I really don't know. All we can do is wait for her to come through. Have faith. Faith? Faith? Spike raised his voice in anger. How can you have faith when the only mother figure you have left in your life is dying? Calm down, Spike. How we are to know this would happen. Trevor says he prevents any more I don't know what this word is. In argument. We don't know she would make we didn't know she would make such a move. In a way, it is our fault for not coming up with a better plan. Spike looked angered by the mole's comment upon the matter. Guys, please don't fight. Nephthys wouldn't want any of this. Sonar said, putting herself in between the two. This won't bring her back. All we can do is wait. The two calmed down as they looked back at the vulture. Spike couldn't see her this way. Nephthys was everything to him. She took him in like he was her own child. The three of them were like her family, and they worked on everything. When the Egg Army showed up, they set the stage to protect and balance the power between the Empire and the people. Now she is lying on her possible deathbed. You didn't deserve this. You have so much to live for. Why would you do this? Spike thought as he held her hand. Please be okay. Fight, Nephthys. Don't give up. Wait. Where am I? Nephthys asked as she slowly got up from the ground. Nephthys. A male voice could be heard. This voice was all too familiar to Nephthys. Seth? Who the heck is Seth? Honestly, I don't know who this Seth person is. Could anyone please point out who this character is? If not, oh well. Nephthys turned around to see another white vulture who was a bit taller than her. The man had hair that was short, a well-fit body, a white and black aviator uniform, and bright blue eyes, sky blue eyes. Nephthys was so overwhelmed with happiness to see her husband once again. Wait, husband? So she was married before? Okay. That I didn't expect. She ran all the way to him, wrapping her arms around him. The two hugged each other tightly. Oh, Seth, I missed you so much. I missed you too, Nephthys. Seth said as he gently kissed her on the cheek. Where have you been all these years? And where's Nephthys? Oh. Wow, I did not expect this. My guess is that Nephthys is kind of pretty much in a sort of purgatory or some sort. I don't know. Or limbo. I don't know. Seth gently took off his sash, revealing the infant laughing and cooing. Nephthys gently took her out of a sash and cradled her in her arms. Oh. Come on, Nephthys. Let's go. Where are we going? Home. Okay. Seth said as he leaded Nephthys towards the light within the dark tunnel. Nephthys smiled as she followed after the other vulture. We can finally become a family once again. The two continued towards the light, started growing bigger and bigger. Oh no, Nephthys! No, 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 not good, not good, not good, not good. This isn't good. The heart monitor started to beep, telling that Nephthys' pulse was slowing down to a dangerous pace. What's happening? Sonar asked in a panic. We're losing her. Spike! Get the doctor, now! Trevor told Spike as Sonar started to panic. The doctor and nurses rushed in when they heard the alarm porcupine. They tried to do whatever they could. There was very little options they could. They started to perform CPR on the dying Agos. Clear! The doctor said as he activated the I don't know what those things are called, but it's basically, of course, supposed to be when someone versus on a low heart gauge. He quickly placed it on her chest, sending an electrical jolt through her body. Her condition wasn't improving. The nurse started to do chest compression to get the oxygen flowing again while the doctor charged the thing again. The three freedom fighters watched as Nephthys was losing the battle. The doctors were doing everything they could, but no results were showing that she was improving. Spike looked at her as the memories of her smiling, laughing played in his head. Nephthys, will you fight for Shamar until you die? Wait. Nephthys, will you fight for Shamar until you die? Spike asked as he gently wiped off some of the blood of the sides of her new cybernetic face. Of course, Spike. I will do whatever it takes to protect the home I love and my children. Ow! Ouch! Ouch! Right in the feels! Right in the feels! Nephthys smiled at Spike as he hugged her in response. I won't die till I know the city is safe. And until you three are safe. I'll fight for my life to keep you three here with me. I won't let anything happen to you. I swear it. Sonar and Trevor came into the hug as the three felt complete. You said you would fight for your life, Spike muttered as he watched the doctor and nurses try to revive the vulture. He slowly walked out to the bed, wishing that the jolts of electricity would wake her up. You said you would fight for us. The porcupine started to choke on his tears as he grabbed the railing of the bed. You can't do this to us. You're everything to this army. You're everything to us! Spike yelled in hopes Nephthys would wake. This took everyone in the room back. His grip on the railing tightened as he continued to speak. You said that you would fight for Shamar, for us! Don't leave us here! You are everything to the Egg Army. We care for you. You were able to make us believe that we could protect everyone with your plans. You helped us accomplish the impossible and led us into victory. Without you, Shamar will fall into Eggman's hands, and we will lose all hope. Don't think you're any less than that, Nephthys. You saved us. Now it's our turn to return the favor. Please, Nephthys, don't give up your life. Fight. I don't know why you would do this, but I refuse to believe that this is the end for you. So please, Nephthys, fight! Nephthys heard a voice deep within the darker parts of the tunnel. Spike? Nephthys looked back into the pitch darkness, wondering if she was hearing correctly. She looked down at her young and then her husband. Right behind him was a bright green field with a beautiful blue sky. The light felt so bright yet so warm and inviting. Nephthys was stuck in a crossroad. Go back or stay? To be continued. So there are two endings. Danny pretty much brought it up. And of course, this little note. Don't commit suicide. It is not the way to solve anything. Thank you for that note. And for that, I'm going to be reading the two endings. I'm going to go with the bad ending first. And then I'm going to be going with the happy ending. So, yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, these are the endings. Author's note. I couldn't decide how to end it, so I will place two endings. The good ending and the bad ending. I will place the titles if you specifically ending. Okay. Don't advertise suicides here. It is not the way to solve things. Thank you. Thank you for that reminder. Bad ending. I'm just checking and it doesn't look like it. Okay, I miscorrected. It is basically a little long. Anyways, Nephthys the vulture looked into the dark abyss within disbelief. They're alive. Nephthys placed one step forward, wanting to go towards the voice, but another, though, came across her mind. I hurt them. I almost killed them. Tears started to roll down her cheeks. I will only end up killing 3. As long as I'm alive. I'm sorry. I really don't have any other choice. Eggman will never be stopped. And I can't protect you the way I said I could. This war has damaged so many. And I can't stop to think I aided in that. I know you 3 will find a way without me. Nephthys looked down at her infant that slept in her arms and looked back towards the darkness. Please forgive me, Trevor. Sonar, Spike, I wish you 3 the best of luck. Nephthys turned around to her husband. He looked at her with a soft smile. He held out his hand towards the mother as she carefully reached her hand out to him. Seth slowly started to lead Nephthys out of the darkened tunnel and into the grass field. Every step she took into the soft blades of grass seemed to bring a sense of peace and release from strong bondage that held her down. I promise I will watch over you three. She is an angel after all. I'm not joking. Despite her being named after the gods of the underworld in Egypt, that is. Because that's literally what Nephthys is. A long, eerie beep could be heard throughout the room, leaving everyone within a stun. Nephthys the vulture had flatlined. The doctors checked her pulse one more time to make sure it wasn't a glitch in the system. No pulse could be found. I'm sorry. We couldn't save her. The doctor said as he and the nurses started to shut off the life support machines and pull out the thief from her arm. The desert raiders looked in shock as they looked upon the lifeless vulture on the bed. The three slowly walked closer to the bedside as Sonar started to cry at the sight of their dead mother. Trevor bowed his head in respect as Spike slowly pulled the sheets over her head, not wanting to see the sight of Nephthys looking so weak and sorrowful. It's been 3 weeks since Nephthys' passing. The Desert Raiders and the Egg Army of Nephthys held their own funeral for their fallen comrade. It was a sad day, full of cries and memories when she was present. The Egg Army had released lanterns into the dark, cloudy skies of the night as they said their final goodbyes before Nephthys would be moved to her final resting place. Eggman had arranged a small funeral for the fallen egg boss at a scheduled location for the service and burial. At least he was a little respectful. Spike had convinced the doctor to place poisoning on her autopsy report for Eggman before the official funeral. The freedom fighters wanted the Empire to see her as the brave and caring soldier she was. She was! When the real funeral occurred, all the other egg bosses showed up to pay their respects to the vulture. Most of them just bowed their heads since they didn't know her too well. Spike, Sonar, and Trevor smuggled themselves into the service since they felt like they needed more time before she is laid to rest. Even if they couldn't get close to the body, one of the egg bosses walked up to the coffin with something in his hand. It was Battlelord Cuckoo. Oh, Cuckoo! Oh, just the poor guy. I mean, seriously. He had a few white roses and golden carnations in hand, with a very small object in the other. I'm sorry your life had to end this way, m'lady. You deserved a lot more time here. Cuckoo placed the flowers in the coffin and folded a diamond ring into her hands. I was hoping to ask you soon, but it's the thought that counts. Rest in peace, m'lady. He gently removed his hands off hers as he walked back to the line with the others. Spike couldn't agree more that Nephthys deserved a lot more time on this earth. Mobius. That's the name of the planet. But it all ended in a short, and he blamed himself for this. If I had just told her, she would still be here with us. Spike thought as he clenched his fists and teeth. Don't you mean grind his teeth? He felt the bitter pain seep in as the as the coffin was closed and sealed. Cuckoo, Axel, Tundra, and Akla carried the coffin to the transport as the others followed shortly after. Sonar grabbed a hold of Spike and tried to cry as softly as possible as everyone left the building. The Desert Raiders made their own little memento for Nephthys at home since they couldn't go to the real tombstone. They saw it at least once to pay their respects to their mother. The team hasn't been the same since the funeral. They relocated and took whatever they left at the base since they knew the new egg boss to be would turn them in instantly. They contacted the freedom fighters of Knothole to tell them the news. Well, thank you for the heads up, Spike. We will see what we can do to support you three. Sally! Oh boy. Well, that's not often you actually see other freedom fighters actually get involved. Sally said over the transmission before she hung up. Spike turned off the screen as he hung his head down and sighed. I wish you were still here, Nephthys. You would know what to do. They were officially the enemy of the Eggman Empire. How were they going to handle this when they were the only three fighting? Nephthys told them when and where. Now it was a shot in the dark to continue. The plan she had set. It was getting late, and the three needed a rest. Sonar and Trevor shared the inflatable mattress on the floor while Spike slept on one of the bay windows. He was the last to fall asleep since his mind was all on Nephthys. Why did you do it, Neph? He eventually drifts away into his slumber after a few thoughts. Spike opened his eyes to find himself in a green field and bright blue sky. The porcupine looked all around him till he found a familiar figure, not too far away. It was a female vulture. Spike recognized the woman and slowly started to walk towards her. Nephthys, is that you? You could say she's a guardian angel. As Spike came closer, he could see that indeed it was her. But she was different. Nephthys was no longer wearing her mask. She no longer had her cybernetic presence upon her, either. She was a bit younger than before, and appeared more at peace than how Spike saw her body before her burial. Nephthys, it is really you, Spike said, filled with joy and relief. He started to run up to her, threw his arms around her, started to cry tears of joy. Nephthys hugged the porcupine back. Ouch! Better watch those spikes, Nephthys. Back as Spike spoke up. I'm glad you're alive, Spike said as he let go of the vulture. Spike grabbed Nephthys' hand and said, Come on, it's time to go. I'm sorry, Spike. Could have said something, you know. Seriously, Nephthys, you could have just said something. Why didn't you say anything earlier? Oh well. Nephthys said to the excited porcupine, Why not? You're here. You're alive. You need to come back. I made my choice, Spike. I can't go back. That's why I brought you here. Spike's expression slowly grew disappointed as he looked at the vulture. But Nephthys, you're everything to us. You're everything to me. Don't go. Spike said as he teared up. Nephthys walked up to him and gave him something. It was her golden mask. Spike, with that mask, I was a monster to many. An even greater one without it. I don't regret what I've done, Spike. Nephthys knelt down and tilted Spike's chin up. Tell me why. Why did you do it? Why did you do it? Silence was the only thing heard within the gentle breeze, because I couldn't bear to think I had, or I did kill three. Kill you three, my bad. I consider you three my children, and a mother is to protect her children, even if it means I need to give up my life. That's not true! Spike shouted. You were no threat to us. We loved you because we always knew you were behind that mask. That's the whole time. Please, Nephthys. I can't live knowing we were the reasons why you're gone. Nephthys gently smiled at the porcupine and said, I made that choice to protect you three. Take this mask with you and carry my torch out on for me. I promise I will still be with you, and we'll see each other again one day. Nephthys got up and gave Spike one last look before walking further into the fields. Everything started to turn white. Nephthys! Spike woke up, finding himself lying on the bay window. Okay, seriously, how did he not fall? As before. He looked out the window to find the moon was still out. Spike sighed as he got up and waited to stretch. When he got up, he felt an object within his hand. As he looked down, he saw that he was holding Nephthys' mask. Just a dream. He stared at the mask as his eyes welled up with tears. He held the mask close and tied to his chest and started to cry softly. I promise. I'll do it. I won't let you down. Spike cried feelings as he felt like someone was holding them in an embrace. It was so familiar to him. He knew she was still there for them. Thank you, Nephthys. Ow! I'd say that's a more bittersweet ending, to be honest. It's bad that Nephthys is gone, but Spike needed a bit of guidance. That's all I got from that. Well, let's just see how the good ending is. And oh my god. Why does it feel a little shorter? Anyways, let's get to it. Nephthys the vulture looked in the darkness of the abyss. Oh, right. Pretty much repeating of that. Nephthys placed one step forward, wanting to go towards the voice. But what about her husband? She turned towards Seth, a bit unsure of what to do. You're leaving, aren't you? If you need to go, then go. Nephthys smiled at him and gently placed the sleeping infant back in his arms. I'm sorry, but I have a family waiting for me on the other side. Nephthys said as she gave Seth one more embrace. Take care of her from me. I promise. With that said, Nephthys gently kissed the young vulture on the head and whispered, Be a good girl for Mommy. Nephthys started to walk the other way into the dark tunnel. She took one more glance at her husband and daughter. Farewell. The vulture then started to run deeper into the tunnel towards the voice she heard earlier. Hold on. I'm on my way. Oh boy. The doctor was stunned at the results. Nephthys the vulture was improving. After a half an hour battle, the doctor gave the clear that she would be okay. The nurses started to place the equipment back as the doctor spoke to the freedom fighters. She's stabilized. She will be fine. The desert raiders sighed in relief to hear the news. Spike looked at the vulture laying on the bed and smiled. The three stayed at her bedside until visiting hours were over. The doctor reassured that she would make it through the treatment before they left. As they left to one of the empty rooms in the base, Spike still was a little worried about Nephthys. Why would she do this? What if she doesn't come back the same? What if she doesn't come back at all? What are we gonna do? The porcupine felt a hand upon his shoulder. It was Trevor. Don't worry about her. The doctor knows what he's doing, and he says she will make it. Yes, Spike. Have faith. Sonar added as they both gave him an assuring smile. Spike smiled back and said, Thanks, guys. I knew I could count on you. The three entered the room and got settled for the night. As Spike drifted off into a slumber, he continued to repeat himself, She'll be okay. This gave Spike some relief before he finally shut his eyes for the night along with the rest. The Desert Raiders woke up bright and early so they could see Nephthys right away. They were all I don't know what that word is. This, and couldn't wait much longer. The three ran down the halls to the infirmary as quickly as they can. When they arrived at the front, they asked the nurse to see the egg boss. She escorted them to the room they were in last night to check upon their dear mother. The doctor was in there too, writing a few things on a clipboard. Morning, doctor. Did she? Spike asked, hoping for the best. She is doing fine. And she's doing just fine. The treatment worked and without any complications. She has been in and out of consciousness since earlier this morning. She should wake up any time today. The three were filled with glee and relief to hear the news of the vulture's condition. Spike smiled as he walked towards the bed. The three waited in the room for their mother to wake up. They waited for at least 3 hours within the room, waiting for any sign of movement. Sonar looked upon the bed and noticed Nephthys' hand twitching. Ugh. How did I get those words mixed up? They're obviously different words of T. Ugh. Guys, look! She said as she got Trevor and Spike's attention. The three started to see the vulture stir within the bed. A huge smile came across their faces as they saw the vulture open her eyes. Nephthys! Oh, she's alright. The three screamed in excitement as they wrapped their arms around her in a big group hug. Nephthys was taken back in shock at the three. You guys. We're glad you're alive. We thought you were dead. Spike said as tears started to flow down his cheeks. Spike, The freedom fighters released their grip on the egg boss and give her some room to breathe. We're so glad you're okay. Sonar said with a smile on her face. Nephthys smiled back as she gently pulled the sheets off herself. You were waiting for me this whole time? Nephthys asked in disbelief. She didn't feel like she deserved such a thing for almost abandoning them. Oh. At least things are going just fine. Of course we did. You're family to us, so we waited for you. Trevor said as he crossed his arms. But I left you. I tried to. Nephthys tilted her head down in sorrow for what she had tried to do. Spike walked up to her and tilted her head up. It doesn't matter anyway. You came back, didn't you? You promised you'd fight for your life, and here you are now. We thought we'd lost you yesterday, but you're here. You're alive, and that's what matters. Spike responded with a smile as Nephthys started to tear up and threw her arms around the porcupine again. Watch those spikes! Or quills, whatever. I'm so sorry. I didn't want to bear the thought that I stood by and let you three. And you died. I'm such a monster for doing that. Oh, Nephthys. Oh. I don't see how you can forgive me for that. The vulture cried, regretting her decisions as the others came around her to comfort. Nephthys, we forgive you, because we know you don't have control over such things. We know behind the mask that you are the same Nephthys that protected and raised us before the Empire came to Shamar. Sonar said gently, rubbing Nephthys' back. We know how much stress this job has given you. But we also know that feeling. We're in this together. Trevor said as he placed his hand upon her shoulder. We forgive you because you are family to us. Spike said as Nephthys looked upon her three friends. She smiled at them and said, Thank you, all of you. The vulture wiped away her tears as the four spent the rest of the day planning their next move and secret relocation for the freedom fighters. Nephthys made a swift recovery from the attempt suicide, and the doctor ruled it out as a poisoning to make sure Eggman doesn't get all too suspicious about what happened. The Egg Army received new defenses and a few visits from other egg bosses, mainly Battlelord Cuckoo, since he was the one that was closest to the Midas base. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. And has a bit of a thing for Nephthys. Obviously! The Desert Raiders laid low for a bit and contacted Nephthys no too often for a security purpose. They were currently at their new base home. They carried on life like the incident never happened. Nephthys was relieved that they forgave and forget about the whole thing. The vulture was just chilling since she finished everything that needed to be done. She took off her mask and observed it for a while, pondering on about the past events and Spike's words. Family. And hi, Zoe. Yes, that's what we are. And sorry, that's a dog. Yep, she's on my bed. I promise I won't leave you three like that ever again. I will be there to save you when the time comes. Nephthys looked out the window, seeing the bright full moon as such wonderful memories flooded her mind. The night her daughter was born, and the night she found the Desert Raiders. She smiled at these thoughts and treasured them. The family she once had, and the family she has now. And that's the end. Yep. Well, I gotta say, this was definitely an interesting read. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I gotta say, give love to the, well, Desert Raiders, or Desert Freedom Fighters as they're mainly called. And, of course, give love to Nephthys. Seriously, Mama Bird needs more love. She's been getting neglected. She's been pretty much not getting enough love. Seriously, Nephthys, I feel so bad for her. Yeah, at least things did work out fine in the end. Well, hope you all enjoyed this. I will pretty much see you all later, and who knows, I might actually do another. But for now, see you later, guys.